I think it's crazy that a lot of us act as though we don't know what our true self is really saying to us. Like, we don't know what to do in life. We don't know which way to go. We don't know that that relationship doesn't feel right. That job, that friendship. Something inside of us is telling us we deserve more. We're supposed to have more. But for some reason we ignore it. Like, I know y'all hear that authentic voice inside of you. Just like I hear mine. And I'm not sure of why we act as though we don't hear it. Sometimes it could be because we know, like, it's scary. It's something outside of our norm, whatever that voice is telling us to do. Sometimes we may know, like, it's going to lead to some people being unhappy and us, making some people feel some type of way because we're putting ourselves first, Sometimes it's scary because, okay, what if I don't like my job and it's stressing me out and I leave? Then what? So I get why we try to drown that authentic voice. Like, I totally get it. But we have to acknowledge that it's there. And we have to start trying to pay attention to what it's trying to tell us. Because it's really leading us to, like, our true selves. And it knows exactly what it takes for us to feel free and to live authentically. It's sad that a lot of us don't get to live authentically. That really bothers me. One of my passions is getting people to believe in themselves and train their minds to believe in themselves. To alter their subconscious so that it works for their best interest and not the interest of everyone else in the world. And that's something that I too struggle with. Being authentic and real with myself, no matter what other people think. Like, I'm a total people pleaser. I would say I am a recovering people pleaser. I'm trying my best to do better. I will say I'm trying my best. I'm doing better. Alright, let me blend this concealer. So, I'm not as much as a people person or people pleasing person that I used to be. But I do still find myself in situations where I'm like, yeah, that wasn't authentic, Like, I was not being my authentic self there. So I would say it's a constant battle. I can't even act like, oh, I'm going to be authentic. Boom, there it is. No, authenticity is something I battle with daily, right? Because you have to show up as your authentic self every day. And if you're like, what is my authentic self? Your authentic self is, for instance, somebody's like, hey, you should come out with us tonight. But you really don't feel like it, but you don't want to say no. Your authentic self is that voice that initially responds in your head. It's not what you say out of your mouth, because out of your mouth, you're like, oh yeah, I would love to. But in your head, you were totally like, no, you guys are shallow. I'd rather stay home and read and watch documentaries and catch up on, like, the news or something like that, So your authentic self is that original, like, what you rather be doing, It's that true voice that usually goes against what other people would rather you do. But because you want to fit in and you want to, like, make other people happy, you agree to do whatever else, whatever they tell you, despite of what your authentic self was saying. And that, my friends, is an example of your authentic self. You might be at a job and your manager might, like, give you, like, a lot of work, and it's so much work, and they ask you, like, hey, are you able to do all of that? And it's going to be, like, taxing and emotionally overwhelming for you, and you already have so much on your plate. But instead of voicing all of that, you just say, yeah, I got it, no worries. That, my friends, is ignoring your authentic self. And that does a lot of wear and tear on your conscious brain. Because how am I supposed to feel about myself if I'm getting these feelings, getting that crease. Here I am, like, getting these feelings. I'm understanding, what I feel initially, and then I'm totally ignoring it. Totally ignoring it. My mouth is saying total opposite of how I genuinely feel, like, for whatever reason. It's like, yeah, I think in my head no, and then I just blabber out yes, and then it's like, oh my gosh, I did not want to do that.